Okay, A.J. Irwin is a retired federal agent with the Department of Homeland Security. A.J., let's start with the male suspect, Syed Farouk. You're not with the agency anymore. I expect you can speak freely. You spoke freely when you were with the agency, so tell me, based on what you've learned about him, is he a terrorist?
I believe he is a terrorist.
Why?
Well, you don't collect this amount of weapons and ammunition and then create a laboratory in your garage to start building bombs and collect things like this. You have the garb, the ninja suits, and the vests, the utility vests, and all of that if you're not a terrorist.
All right, so born in Chicago, Farouk went to Saudi Arabia twice, first time to meet his future wife, who he met on an online Muslim dating site. Second trip to Saudi Arabia was in 2014 to bring her to the United States. She had a Pakistani passport. As their SUV sped away from police, she was the one in the back with the AR shooting out the back window at police. Any feelings about Tashfeen Malik, terrorist, radicalized Farouk? What are your suspicions?
I suspect that there's a nexus between her and the radicalization. Somehow, this is a U.S. citizen, and yes, they can be radicalized here in the United States online through social media. But something has happened recently. He seemed to be normal. There's no criminal record for him. And then since he's married this woman, something's happened. He's traveled to Pakistan and now he started to collect this cache of weapons and ammunition.
Right. Let's talk about the attack itself. They had a rental car for some reason. Bombs, tactical gear, 12 bombs left behind at their home in Redlands. It was a Christmas party. There were likely Christmas symbols, Christian symbols there. Was that the target? Did something set him off there? Was there another target? How do you think this all played into it? First, this kind of meeting Christmas party, and then everything else they've uncovered. How is this going to play out, do you think?
In my opinion, I believe that there was a terrorist plot between him and his wife.
Okay.
They were going to attack somewhere. But I don't believe that their original target was this Christmas party.
Okay.
I think that they had another target, something that would have meant something to their cause.
Okay.
And that he went to this Christmas party, he became angry over something that was said, and he decided to execute the plan.
Just let's start now, or something
Yes.
like that. And it didn't take long. He was back at the party within 30 minutes or less, so they had a plan ready to go, if you can go that quickly, right?
Yeah, I believe that they've been trained.
Mm-hmm.
They've been preparing for this plan. They've been waiting for a target, some target where they were going to execute it.
Okay, so this target hasn't been hit. If you think there's another target, the neighbor says that he saw men coming and going late at night, working in the garage. So that means, if he's right, there are men not associated with this too out there, right? Is that something that federal agents would be on hard right now trying to find?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the priority for the investigators that are working this case, is to determine if there is an imminent threat. Are there people that were associated with these two who are terrorists as well, and they've been given a plan and they're still out there and they haven't been identified yet?
Let's talk about what the CARE representative said, the local said about see something, say something. President, everybody else says you see something, you say something. She kind of wants us to filter it, make sure you're being politically correct, not sure you're just doing something on if you think somebody's religious. As a federal agent, you're a cop, you're an investigator, you're a cop. Do you just want the information? Do you want people to try to filter themselves, or you just want what they have?
No, I want the information.
You just want it.
Because when you filter it, then I'm not getting your perception, your facts, what you've seen, what you know. Don't filter it.
You're a big boy, you can
I'm a
figure
big
that
boy,
out.
and I'm not going to racially profile. My job is to secure the security of the United States, to make sure that it's safe, and I'm not going to take into consideration those type of things.
You'll do the filtering.
Exactly.
We just give you the information.
Give you the information.
Okay. Let me ask you one more thing, you've been straightforward. I want to know. I think there are suspicions that terrorism, the word terrorism in the United States, is a political thing. How does Homeland Security work? If they know it's terrorism, are they going to say it's terrorism? Are the American people going to know, or will there be some push to kind of keep it down? What do you think?
Well,
what do you know from working at Homeland
I would have
Security?
said that they would say it's terrorism, but I think that what I've seen in the past few days, that there's some reason, a political reason, to not use the terrorism word.
So you think that ought to be out there already?
I think
you
it
think
should
they
be out
probably
there.
know it's terrorism. They're not saying it.
I believe they know it's terrorism.
Huh. Interesting.
And they just don't want to stir the
Don't
pot.
wanna go there yet. Okay, A.J. Irwin, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Insight, thank you very much.